What's up, everybody? Welcome to What the Fuck Tuesday, the live stream crazy, wild relationship advice column. If you want to post a link real quick up on your social media page, do that. We will be going strong for at least the next hour and a half. That's about how long it takes me, sometimes a little longer, depending on how sidetracked I get to get through all 25 questions that we have every week. Sometimes lately it's been more with the what does she call them? Bonus questions. But we don't have any bonus questions today, just the straight 25. I already cheated and I looked at the cover page. See? Wait, can you see? Oh, well, I guess it does. Anyway, it just says 25 advice questions. There's no like side note or anything like that. So that's what we're going to do. I hope you guys, you go on the community wall, right? That's where I keep in contact with everybody. So if you're not really a frequenter of that space on this channel, please make it a habit to go check there every once in a while, because that's where I communicate, shows that are coming up. If I'm looking for guests for shows or, surveys and polls or just interesting things that I find on the internet that I want to share with you and get your thoughts. And I'd posted up something the other day about my latest adventures on Clubhouse. I don't know, I like to be a person of my word. So if I say I'm going to do something, I do everything I can to follow through on it. And it's just a code that I live by. So I told myself I would give Clubhouse to the end of the year. That's December 31st. I hope I make it, because every time I go on there, I swear I feel like I've lost like some of my intellect was left behind, because the people over there are just crazy. The way they think is insane. And just, I don't know, like even, I was on the room yesterday talking, and then went in this girl's room and they were talking about, that a coffee date is not a date. And I know a lot of people think that way. So, they were all on today. No, he gonna take me out. He gonna do this and that. And I'm like, okay, but see, like I was telling you guys, my time is worth more to me than somebody spending, some little $50 or $60 on a meal that I probably could cook better myself at home anyway. And so, to me, just popping in, looking at them, having a few conversations, a few words of conversation that's not on the phone, because, you don't get the body language. You don't get, like, the expressions. You don't get to see if what he said he looks like. And the pictures he posted up, if you're on doing this online dating thing, actually match up to the real person. You see what I mean? So you do want to lay eyes on them. I don't call that a date. I call that just a meet and greet and see what's going on, what you do, what you working with. And then if I don't like what I see, that's where it's going to end. And I'll be like 15 minutes later, oh, look at the time, I've got to go. But, they were like really into this thing about a man spending money on them. And I'm like, these hungry hoes, don't you all have something to do with yourself besides worry about what some man is spending on you? So I was like, my worth is not defined by how much a man spends on me on a date. I mean, that I decide that. And it's like, it's nice if they spend a lot, but I mean, it's nice if they don't too, because then I don't have to worry about it. I don't feel, obligated or stressed about it or anything. I don't care for the first, time we get together. I just don't care. I'm more concerned about who is this clown, and what he was saying on the phone, does that shit match up to what I'm looking at right now? But they didn't see things that way, and I understand that. I guess my opinion is in the minority, but I will live by it and continue charging my insane hourly wage and comparing that to what I would lose by looking at some monkey that I don't feel like looking at, that ain't bringing me no value to my life just because he spent $50 on a meal. I don't want to do that. Shit, when I go out, I spend $200 or $300 just on myself. So I'm not, that little funky money, that ain't shit. Not to me. Because I like these basil martinis at this place here, not too far from Oakland. Basil martinis, and them suckers is like $12 a pop. And every time I go in there, I'll be having me at least 4, plus the food. And don't let me go with a friend. It's just insane. So, I don't know. Maybe I just live too high budget. But anyway, that's enough about me. Let's move on and talk about these crazy people that wrote in. A lot of you I know, Candace said she got, she chose a lot of letters. And she tried to remember to remind to tell everybody that their letter was chosen. We don't always remember but she said that she thinks she did a pretty good job this time. So there's probably a lot of people listening to this, anticipating their answer. So let's get going. 25 questions for those of you who like to keep up with that fun stuff. Here we go. Question number 1. This is a female in the 37 to 45 age group. She's from Jamaica. She says, "Hey, Deb, I've been with my husband for 20 years and have been married for 15 years. He's now 58 and I'm 42. Damn. That's way older than you. Okay, when we just met, he lied about being younger than he actually was. And now I'm totally regretting my decision to marry a man so old. The age difference has caused so many issues. We are like night and day, and we have absolutely nothing in common. He works on a cruise ship, so throughout the years, I've pretty much lived alone, except for the few weeks he's home out of the entire year. When he's away, he hardly calls unless he's checking to see if I've taken care of whatever he asked me to do. When he's home, we hardly speak or spend any time together. He goes out a lot with his friends and claims that because he spends so much time on the ship, he doesn't like to be confined in the house. I don't mind him going out at all, but we spend absolutely no time together except for when he wants intimacy. When I try to speak to him about the problems in the marriage, we always end up arguing. Anyway, Deb, now I'm 42 and I've decided that after 20 years with this man, I can't envision him in my future, and have told him that I think we should separate. He has not expressed a willingness to do this, but neither does he object to the idea. Instead, he's trying to be super nice to me, but it's only after I mention the separation, so I know it's not genuine. He's not a person who expresses his emotions well. No laughs, no hugs, no kisses, no I miss you, and definitely never an apology. Deb, based on all these things I've mentioned, do you think I'm making a good decision to end this marriage, or should I stay with my husband and work things out? This is a difficult thing because, see, in all these years, you have basically set up a life for yourself without him. You also have to remember that you're just barely 40 years old. He's on the downstroke to 60 in retirement. So, he's going to be retiring in a few years. Now, if you are there at the house and he is retired and not going on the ship anymore, he's going to be following you around the house and just being all up in your face. Is that what you want? I mean, I'm asking a question because I can't make this decision for you. This is one that you're going to have to make. Do you want to have a partner that you do fun things with, go places with, travel, laugh, play? Do you want something like that? Or does this guy provide the kind of lifestyle that, you might not be able to have if you're on your own? These are all things that you must consider because, the other thing you got to look at is with him being almost 20 years older than you, 18, whatever it is, he's going to start breaking down, and you just going to be young and fresh and like in your 50s. He's going to be in his 70s. Are you ready to, do the nursing thing? Or would you feel bad about putting him in a nursing home? What would you want to do? Does he have insurance for all that kind of stuff? There's things for you to think about. And, since you only see him a couple of weeks a year anyway, what's the big deal? I don't see the big deal. Because if he stayed, ED, when he wants intimacy, but shit, his ass is gone for the whole year. Tell him you're going to get a boyfriend. Because you're tired of being, intimacy less, and see what he says. But I don't know. See, for me, except for that part, I wouldn't really care because I like a lot of alone time. That's why I always thought I would do really well to have a man who was like a fireman or something because he would be gone all the time. And, but not every woman is like that. I mean, some women want more, more attention and more involvement with their dude. And so for you, if that's the way that you are, then this wouldn't work for you. And, you want to change it while you're still young enough to hook up with somebody else. Because, 42, that's a good age. That's popping. So, that's a lot to think about. So you have to think about that, weigh the pros and cons, and what you're going to get if you leave him versus what you have now. Hate to be so scientific about it, but that's the way it is, okay? Let's move on to question number 2. This is a female in the 30 to 35 age group from New Brunswick, Canada. I'm writing you because as a black woman, I think you'll better understand what's going on and how I feel about it than a white woman would. Yeah, nursing a man and deal. Yeah, see, I'm with you, Ash. But, she didn't say all that, so I don't, we're not going to read into it. Bottom line, my father-in-law is a racist pig, and I don't want him around my baby. I'm 31 and a mix of Mediterranean, Middle Eastern ethnicities. I have had my fair share of prejudice from all groups growing up in the United States, as well as prejudice from some of the people of the cultures in my background for being mixed. I'm just about 4 months pregnant. My 58-year-old father-in-law grew up in a rural town in Canada, and though despite having some diversity in his background, he grew up with derogatory views of other races and ethnicities. I do not want my child growing up picking up any of that. I told my husband I don't want our kid around his dad and around my brother because they aren't strong influences and negatively impact those around him. They've long been enabled. While on the phone with my partner, he's 33, my father-in-law asked if we had chosen a name. So you're 31, he's 33, the father-in-law's 58, okay. My husband expressed to him that we are still deciding on names. My father-in-law then goes, I have a perfect name. You should name your child, wait a minute. You should name your child Abdul, Jamal Magid, Allah Akbar Abdul Robinson. I looked dead straight at my husband because this is not the first time my father-in-law has said some real derogatory shit. None of his kids want to deal with him. He's a typical narcissist that gets pissy drunk and then tells people they have to deal with him because that's who he is. His other grandson, our nephew, is half black, and he tells his coworkers that his grandson will have the biggest schlong when he grows up. Oh my God, this guy is a piece of work. He has ruined many major events. Back to the phone call. I stayed silent. My husband didn't say anything and switched conversation. My father-in-law was anticipating to get some laughs and receive dead silence instead. We're supposed to go visit him in a few days, and I really don't have the emotional capacity to put him in his place and not burst a blood vessel. I won't enable this behavior. My kid is not an extension of anyone, especially not his bigoted ass. My husband has learned to disagree with his dad, but both he and his brother enable him and allow him to unhealthily dictate their lives. I want to stay home, but I don't want to strand my husband with his dad. But I also don't want to be around his dad while I'm pregnant. I can't bite my tongue anymore. Deb, tell me, how would you have dealt with this? What approaches have you tried to deal with a narcissistic and bigoted in-law? Should I be the one to speak up, or should this be my husband? Ideally, this would be your husband. But since your husband is a milquetoast little bitch-made motherfucker, that means it's going to be up to you to defend your child. Now, I'm wondering, let's rewind here a little bit. Let's rewind. Okay, so you obviously was dating dude before you decided to marry him and before you decided to get pregnant. You already knew the father-in-law was a fool, as was his brother. Why did you decide with your mixed self to marry into a family where there are bigots? Please explain that to me. Because now you're going to have this child that's going to have half your DNA in it, your genes and your ethnicity mix-up things going on there. And this little redneck fool is going to be looking at your child and wanting to call your child names. Now, see, for me, once I went into that family and saw this kind of behavior exhibited by the father, knowing that those two boys were raised up in that environment, I would have cut them off. It wouldn't have been no further dating. Especially unless he went crazy on his father and shut him down, cussed him out, that kind of stuff. So him being quiet, see, to me, that means that you okay with it. That's tacit agreement because you're not saying anything to the contrary. So that means your father's taking it. He's thinking, it's okay. So he's gonna up the ante and keep going with this name thing here. And so knowing me, I would have said, well, no, because we, too bad, or I don't know, something rude about how his nickname is. I'm going to say, instead of telling the kid to call you grandpa, I'm going to tell him to call you Billy Bob Joe, Herman, whatever kind of country names I could think of, and say that's going to be your name, since you like to nickname people some old country bumpkin shit all the time. Something along those lines. I don't know. It's not coming to me right now because, I have to be mad. When I'm mad, then my words come. But right now I'm just sitting there, just kind of thinking about what I might say. But it would be something along those lines. He would get back what he dished out. Or I would talk about his wife. Betty Sue, Jane, Marie, what's some country names? That Thelma, Louise, all that kind of stuff. The bitch you married. Her. Stuff like that. I would have said stuff like that to him. But, because two can play that game. So whatever he said to me, I would flip it around and say it right back to him and just make it some old hillbilly shit. And so, he could see what it felt like. And he would be insulted and mad. And I'd be like, well, don't dish out shit you can't take home, skillet. That's just the way it is. So you don't, you can't handle it, then you need to keep your mouth closed. But seriously, I would have never been, I would have never got with this dude just based on his family alone. So that's what I'm saying. You say you can't bite your tongue, but you don't want to be his dad, around his dad while you pregnant. No, you do want to be around his dad. You want to get this shit straight now. Stop hiding. And that passive aggressive shit. I know I don't have the muscle capacity. You better find it, because you going to be somebody's mama. So you don't have that luxury where you going to be trying to hide and say, well, I can't do it. Yes, your ass is going to do it. You don't get time off when it comes to defending your child. That's a 24/7, 365 days a year job until that kid is old enough to defend him or herself. That's your job. You the mama. So I don't want to hear this shit here. You need to get your husband in check, his brother in check, and his raggedy ass daddy in check too. And then that's how you do shit. Please. I wish I would. Peggy Sue, there you go, Gypsy Moon. I love it. Yeah, some fucked up shit like that. Every kind of country music name I heard from TV, I would pull it out on her and say, yeah, that bitch you married, her. Question number 3, female, 21 to 26 from Toronto. Hey, Auntie Deb, it says, with a heart and everything. Oh, okay. I'm writing on behalf of my mother. She's 52. She's been single following her divorce from my father in 2012. Ooh, that's a long time. Since then, she has remained single and just worked while loving on her children, 4 of us, including myself, all above the age of 18, and her tabby cat. She's an all-around fun, positive, friendly, and social person. She's a great mom. However, recently, she confided in me that she's lonely and would like to have a partner by her side since she's been alone for so long. She's tried the dating apps, and she says it's entertainment more than anything, as all the dudes are trash and seldom serious. Ooh, well, yeah. Anyway, she suggested I write to you asking for advice as we occasionally watch your videos together. Thus, where can my mother meet a serious, eligible partner in 2021? I really want my mom to be happy, as my dad is the king of dusties, who cheated on and had an outside baby on my mother. Wow. Thanks for the advice in advance. Well, if I had to answer that question, I'd be a bazillionaire. But I'm going to tell you some places I've gone where I've seen a lot of older men. And, some of them were single. Anything that has to do with those kind of, what are those things called? Like the Masons, that kind of stuff. They put on a lot of events, dances and stuff like that. I went to this Zydeco dance one time, and there was a whole bunch of folks from, Louisiana, from down there, Louisiana and all that stuff, full of men. They were widowers. And, I was like one of the youngest folks in there. This was some time ago. I was probably, I don't know, maybe 35. And it was, full of dudes like in their late 50s and 60s. So, they kept me on the dance floor. But I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. It's like hopping around there pretending like I know what I'm doing some kind of Zydeco dancing. But it was fun and it was different, My mother took a ballroom dance class. And see, I'm mentioning these things because now that, stuff is opening back up, people have their inoculations, they're opening up these kinds of things again. So the opportunities may present themselves very soon, sooner than we think. And, my mom took a ballroom dancing class. And so, she met some guy. She was going out with some dudes and stuff, And it didn't she wasn't like her boyfriend or nothing, but it was a guy, some guy she was going out with. So, I mean, those are a few places that you can always, my favorite thing is meetup.com. She has to find some things that's going on in her area that she's interested in. And, make sure some stuff that men like to go to as well. But she's not that old. So she should be able to meet somebody pretty much anywhere. I like meetups, personally. Like I said, I always went on meetups. I wasn't really trying to find nobody like that, but I would always go. Oh, cigar lounges? Well, yeah, if you can stand the smoke. There be a lot of dudes in there. A lot of them are married, though. But they are full of men of all races. Because cigars are expensive as hell. So they're in there buying a dozen cigars. They got some money. I'm going to say that. So, I don't know. Just think about that kind of stuff. And investigate with her and see what you guys got. And people have some suggestions in the chat room as well. Oh, oops. I'm sorry. I'm going too far here. Okay, question number 4. Female, 26 to 30 from the UK. I need to know from your perspective. Am I not used to dating anymore, or are the signals men send very misleading? This is my latest drama. Met this guy off Hinge recently. Hinge. Is that one of those like booty call things? Like Tinder? I don't know nothing about these apps. I don't mess with them. Okay, she met this guy off at Hinge recently, and he really ticked all the boxes for me. Well-spoken, well-read, recognizes his privilege, funny, doesn't say shit like, I don't believe in therapy. We were hitting it off, in my opinion at least, and he's very thoughtful and well-mannered, so I'm really into this guy on the first date itself. We walked around, pecked, and just talked. He also communicates well in the little interaction I've had with him. But Deb, and she puts all these exclamation marks. The very next time we meet, this guy starts insisting on, quote, getting a room. But added the good old, only if you're comfortable. I'm not saying this to pressure you, okay? While he continued to do exactly that, but subtly, I asked him to clarify if he just wanted a hookup, because then I really wouldn't invest my time. But obviously, he's not really looking for anything in particular. I don't know how I'm supposed to read that, where they do the letters as a mix of capitals and upper line. I don't know what that's supposed to be. So it wasn't comfortable. We met last night, drove around the city, and this guy's only focus was on finding a shady alley to make out in. We made amazing conversations, shared amazing moments, and he seemed to be into those and appreciate them as well. But at the same time, there was this visible restlessness when we couldn't find a safe spot to make out in, which really made me feel like there's nothing more to me than my body and sex appeal. He's also been constantly talking about my best friend since they met briefly, and about how much fun she and I are together. Oh, really? Bet you a little freak. Constantly, she wrote in caps. He also wanted to, quote, make sure I was seeing other people. Deb, we met twice, so I don't know if it's me or if this man is straight up playing me with his soft-cultured boy vibe. Have you or the squad ladies had men give off very mixed signals and made you question, well, everything? Or is it just me? It is just you. You know why? Because he's not sending off mixed signals. You read way too much into the fact that he's polite. Okay, he's just not like a dog with it, but he's a dog. Underneath all of that politeness and conversation, he's just a hound dog. So I'm not understanding where you talking about, this mixed signals part. He never alluded to trying to have a relationship with you. How is that? Where are you getting this mixed signals thing? Because he was nice to you? Something you think that means something jumping off relationship wise? That's why he clearly made sure you was, on the same page with him, like that you see in other people, because it ain't like that. That's what he was telling you. So I'm not really clear on where this mixed signals part is that you're talking about. Dude was straight with it. What you think? He just barely knows you, and he's talking about getting a room. Why did you misinterpret that to be that he was cultured and nice? He is a dog. Okay, and if that happened, I don't know which date that happened on. That was the first date. There should have been no second date. You already knew what time it was. The fact that you decided to go out with him a second time, that you the one sending a mixed message. Because first you say no, and then you go on with him a second time, knowing his ass is he's targeting some booty. That's all he's there for. Who says let's go to a motel? You supposed to cuss him out. Say, motherfucker, you want a hoe, you go down there and pay for one. Don't be looking to try to get some shit for free from me. Get the fuck out of here. That's the kind of stuff you should have been saying to him. You cheap, nasty bastard. You know, stuff like that. But you know, you're like, okay, let's go out again. And then you're going to stay in the car while he drives around looking for a dark place to make out. And you don't tell him to drop you off and call you an Uber. See, you didn't handle this right at all. So I'm saying the one who's confused and who is sending mixed messages here is you. Okay? If you don't want no activities with a dude and he presents that as an option on the first fucking date or even the second, you deuce out if that's not what you want. Now, of course, some women ain't fine with that. But if that's not what you want, then you deuce out and then you block him while you in the cab or on the Uber on your way to your house. That's what you do. You just block him. So you don't have to be bothered with his shim and his shit anymore. One thing I cannot stand is some cheap ass motherfuckers trying to come up on some free ass. Pussy costs money, motherfucker. It costs. Okay? So you know, I'll let you look at it for $1,000. And you want to touch it, that's going to be $5,000 more. Now, you got that kind of cash on you? If not, then leave me the fuck alone. I don't know what the fuck he was thinking, but I know he would have got smooth cussed out. I mean, all that boy vibe, cultured boy vibe shit. I would have said, oh, let me pull out my ghetto Shanisha and tell you about yourself. Because this is you doing too much. This is not how you conduct yourself. No. Question number 5, female 18 to 20 from Los Angeles, California. Hi, Deb. I urgently need advice on this topic because I'm getting confused. I'm in my 3rd year of uni and have never had a boyfriend, but I know I like guys. I've had crushes on boys in the past, but nothing more. I'm also 20 years old, and my family and friends ask me why I haven't had a boyfriend yet. Here's my issue. To graduate, I have to take an elective class. There's many transgender students in the class. Oh, God. There's one girl who IDs as a they and them, and she's always staring at me. Like, turns around and stares but never says anything. It gets me a bit mad because I don't know what her issue is. I told my brother, and he said I'm hung up on it for no reason. I'm finally admitting to being gay. That deserves a cuss out. I asked why he would say that, and he said, and hung up on it and bothered because I like that person. I'm hung up on it in terms of why it's happening, but he's making me doubt my whole identity. It sounds stupid, I know, and I'm straight, but why would he say that? And why does my family always question why I don't have a boyfriend and if I'm not straight? I don't know if I'm not realizing something about myself, but it's really messing with me to the point I want to change classes. How should I handle this? Change classes. But see, you seem to be, you're not a very confident young lady. The fact that somebody could say a few bullshit ass words to you and you start doubting your whole existence, you need to strengthen your mind. Okay? That's your first order of business. Understand what you want out of life and then don't accept anything else. You know you like dudes, so see, there's no other conversation. There's nothing else to talk about. And being only 20 years old and not having had a boyfriend yet, there's nothing wrong with that. Do you think, look at all these letters that come in from these girls. Oh, I'm 18, I'm 17, I'm 20, I'm 19, and having bullshit and drama in their lives. You saved yourself from that. So I don't understand why your family is tripping. Like, why they pressuring you to get your heart broken and get dogged out and used for sex and all other crazy shit that's going on out here? Continue in the path that you're on, finish your schooling, get your job, whatever your career going, and then when you get into the real world, be sure over the next years though while you in school, you look at all the videos on this channel and you get your game up because you got to have a stronger mind than this. This is not going to work for you to be out in the real world dealing with these dudes. These dudes are like wolves and you're going to be up there like a little lamb just being munched on. Now, see me, like, some bitches who was a they, them, whatever the fuck ever, I would have been like, what you staring at? I'm not into theys and thems. Turn your ass around. I like dick. And you don't have one. That's what I would have said to her. So, you have to be like with people that's going to be trying to intimidate you and bully you and, say all kind of crazy shit to you by the way they look and all stuff. You shut that shit down immediately. And your teacher probably would have been like, we don't use that kind of language in class, and say, well, I don't care about that. I'm just telling this person over here that she need to turn her eyes around and pay attention to what's going on in the class and stop staring at me. Because whatever she's trying to stare at, I'm not buying it. I'm not interested. I like men. And once you say that, then everybody in the class who's got any kind of confusion going on will understand what time it is. They might decide to call you transphobic, and you say, so fucking what? Just because I like dick? You don't know what the fuck you like. You jumping the fence like a goddamn kangaroo. I don't know what to say about you, but that ain't me. And I'm not interested in what you talking about. Get out of my face. Now. Okay? Yeah, you got a year of school. You better get yourself together, chick. Question number 6, male, 30 to 35 from Silicon Valley. What do you think a highly educated man should look for in a wife? For me, as an expert R&D engineer with a master's degree and borderline scientific research job, oh my, are we just a little bit braggadocious here? Who should I pursue for marriage, assuming all other things are equal? Me. You should bring your little 30 to 35-year-old ass over here, because I know you making bank, and I already have designs on how I can spend it. And I will be highly entertaining, and you'd make it worth your while. You will have a good time. Okay? Now, that's what you should do. Now, on the... but let me be serious, though. What would I do with a 30-year-old dude to kill myself? Okay, let's see. What would you suggest I pursue? A woman who is less educated, community college with a simple job. There are many, 90% of matches on dating sites fit this category. B, a woman with matching level of education or successful career, which is harder to find. C, an artistic type woman, like in the movies. I don't know what that means. Or D, an even more educated woman like a doctor or a PhD researcher. Would she even date me? Some say pick a more educated woman as go feminism. Some say less educated to make sure you're the man or something. My friend advised me of this. I don't care for either of these two reasonings. What bothers me is the possibility of being stuck with someone who has a simple understanding of the world or lives for basic pleasures, and I would feel I have no one to talk to and become isolated. I could not have meaningful conversations with most of my former friends as they just care about parties, video games, and vacations. Okay, so it looks like you finally grew up and now you're ready to find someone. I'm going to say this. You're trying to put women into a category by what kind of education and job they have. That's stupid. Okay, because what you're going to be looking for is a woman that you get along with. A woman who's honest, a woman who's like a friend to you, who you can laugh with and joke with and make, love with, and you like it. That you're proud to have on your arm, that you just adore, that your family loves. Now, it could be in any of these categories. Since you want to be breaking stuff down like a fucking list, it could be any of these. So I'm going to tell you, look for a woman's personality. Look for how you two get along. Look for if she understands you, if she has a spirit where she's like empathetic and sympathetic and loving, honest, a nurturer, someone who wants what you want out of life, like, kids, marriage, family, that kind of stuff. What values do you guys have that are in common? She might not be as educated as you because maybe her family didn't have that kind of money. She had younger siblings that she had to start working to help support or something. A parent is sick, a parent died. I mean, you don't know what people's situation is, but that doesn't mean that they're not as intelligent and well-read and well-traveled and all kinds of other things. So stop trying to put people into a box and instead talk to them, get to know them, and figure out if the two of you have something in common to build on. Okay, so I can't really answer this question the way that you wrote it. Like, choose option C for sure. I'm not going to do that. I'm telling you that your list is, it's cute and everything. And it might give you something to think about with your little engineer brain. but it's a stupid way to pursue a relationship. You go for the woman who makes your heart sing, and the woman that when you think of her not being in your life, you get sad, depressed, you want to cry. That's your wife. All right. Question number 7. This is a female in the 21 to 26 age group from Oakland. Oh, shoot. Hello, Deb. I am 23 and I have a cousin who is 20. I have an ongoing issue with this girl being disrespectful and I don't know what to do. Oh. A lot of people told me to just ignore her, but I feel that only makes her feel more emboldened to disrespect me. The thing is, she is very rude and always being passive aggressive and talking to me with no respect. We've gotten into a huge argument before about her telling me to shut up, and she always does stuff like this. Oh, I would be busting her little bitch ass in the mouth. I don't ever say anything to her unless it's absolutely necessary or unless it's to defend myself from her verbal attacks. Whenever my family says anything unfavorable about me, she must laugh. Whenever I'm talking, she always has to interrupt me. If I'm anywhere near her, sounds something, I don't know what she was trying to say. She always has to make it known that I'm an inconvenience with her gasping and saying, oh my God, and whatnot. I'm becoming very impatient with her and her antics. If I say something about it and blow up, she would get her GM, I guess that's grandmother, and her brother and pretend she didn't do anything and everyone will see me as the troublemaker as always. How can I handle this? Start recording it. You got a phone with the sound recorder? And it will just shock the shit out of her. As soon as she starts telling lies, hit play. This is what really happened. Oh, won't your face be cracked? I don't want to cause more harm than good, but I also don't want her to go on thinking it's okay for her to disrespect me. I'm not hard or tough, and she is more ghetto than me. She also thinks I'm not on her level because I don't have the experience with weed and street smarts, and so she talks to me like I'm an irrelevant child. I'm sick and tired of her. I also found out about a secret that she's keeping. She's gay. Do you think I should air her out for revenge? If the family finds out, it will be hell for her and very embarrassing. But I'm just so enraged at the way she treats me. What to do, Deb? Should I go the petty route or ignore her? What would you do? Oh, you saw my expression. Okay, this is it. Now, I have a meme that I made that said, if given the option to always choose petty, always choose petty. So let's start though. Let's go over this thing. Okay, so she tries to act. She acts all rude and stuff. You know why she does? Well, I'm not saying that's why she does it, but why she continues to do it is because you don't speak up. So when she says crazy shit, you're supposed to say, "Shut up, you ghetto hoe." All you know how to do is keep a bunch of shit stirred up. Irrelevant, uneducated little bitch. Okay, you talk to her like that, she'll be like, "Oh, wait a minute." But see, I don't know if that's in you. But you know, if you're gonna be dealing with silly bitches in Oakland, this is the kind of attitude that you need to have. Cause there's some dumb bitches in Oakland. Dumb. I've lived there and just know way too many of them. Way too many of them. Just stupid. Have about the intelligence of a rock, the understanding of a doorknob. It's just sad. And then the dudes be messing with them. I just don't understand that either. Okay, so then your family, so since she starts laughing, then you laugh at all of them and say, y'all some stupid motherfuckers. You think that by laughing at that's some funny entertainment or some shit? I mean, your level of comedy and your entertainment value, you know, all that is very low. Very low. Your intellect is low. So you laugh at anything. And so then she's like, you know, she's talking, she has to interrupt you. Talk over her. She starts interrupting you, just keep talking and talk louder. I do that all the time on Clubhouse. I have to do that all the time when I'm talking to men because they always feel like what they're talking about is more important than what you're talking about. I've done that at work. I've done it in social settings. I do that on dates. I do that in my family. I do it everywhere because you're not going to talk when I'm talking. Okay? So they get to talking, trying to interrupt. I raise my voice until I'm shouting. And then they be like, well, you don't have to shout yet. Obviously I do. Because you want to think that what you're talking about is more important than what I'm talking about. I have the floor. Shut up. It's my turn to talk. That's what I tell them. Okay, so then, you know, you say that you know, like you're going to get my page and blow up. Then, like I said, then you have your recording. You can have your phone in your pocket and your hand don't matter. And then you don't want to do that because you feel it's going to cause more harm than good. You don't worry about that. See, you holding back trying to be all genteel and stuff. You can't be like that with a hood rat. You got to get gully. You get just as ignorant as they do. but a level up, of course. Street parts and all of that stuff, shit, and all that stuff gonna do is tell her that, it's great that you have all that, but it's not gonna land you nowhere but in prison. I'm gonna be sitting up there with a mansion and all kind of nice stuff, and you're gonna be behind bars because your level of what you think is important and what you should be trying for in life is just so ridiculously bottom of the barrel bitch. Just basic bitch shit. You're not trying to do nothing important and intelligent. Now, then we get to the real fun part where she's gay. You know this for a fact. How do you know this? You better have some evidence, like, her hooked up with somebody that you got a picture of or something like that. Something where you have some dirt on her. And then when she gets to acting fool next time, then you pull out on her and say, oh, yes, you little pussy looking bitch. Guess what? I got a picture of you with your girlfriend. And then I would put the smash on her. That's what I would do. Oh, yes, always choose petty. That's my motto. Always choose petty. And I know people listening to this show for the first time are probably thinking, what kind of advice column is this? This is this is some shit here. I'm not that, don't come to me with no Dear Abby shit. This ain't that kind of show. This is the kind of show where people have real life problems with real life bitches, real life assholes, and I give them some real life solutions for how to deal with it. So if you have like all them little sensibilities where we're all special about certain language and stuff like that, this is probably not the spot for you. Okay? Because I just got started. That was only question number 7. And I got 25. Question number 8, female 226 from Boston. I come from a pretty wealthy family, and I graduated college this past summer. And so far, my father has been fine with financially helping me out to pay my expensive rent in a large city. He helped me pick the building as he wanted to make sure it was safe and in a good area, and assured me he would contribute a certain sum per month to help pay the rent as I work at my starter job. Recently, I got into a large argument with my sister and mom over something, and shortly thereafter, my father called me and threatened to take away all money if I don't see a psychiatrist. Not a therapist, a psychiatrist. I find this extremely upsetting and insulting as I have no mental health issues of any kind as far as I know. Well, crazy people don't know that they're crazy, so that in itself doesn't really... Thanks, Mommy! That doesn't really mean anything, but let me continue. I am aware that therapy is standard for young people right now, and I would be happy about that, but my father insisted to be a psychiatrist or he's cutting me off. To be honest, my dad is very well connected and powerful, and I'm afraid he might do something crazy like Britney Spears' dad and try to put me into a conservatorship or something. But you don't have no money. Your daddy's the one with the money. So why would you be in a conservatorship? They only wanted a conservatorship so they could get a hold of all her billions, all her licensing rights and all that stuff. They wanted the money. You don't have no money. So what would you be in a conservatorship for? Your mind is going, your imagination is a little too active here. He's very manipulative, and I saw him use a similar tactic to make my mom look crazy during their divorce. Oh, really? He got this pattern, huh? They've since made up and are back in contact, hence the timing. But he is the kind of man who will do whatever it takes to get what he wants, to win over a perceived, quote, opponent. Yeah, the daddy's a narc. I'm really worried about this because I think he's going to tell everyone in town that I'm crazy, and that's why I had to see a psychiatrist. And he's trying to craft a narrative around me. At the same time, it would be extremely financially difficult to pay for the apartment on my own. What should I do? Well, it's time for you, madam, to look into finding a roommate. You're going to move out of that expensive apartment, and you're going to move in somewhere else where you have a roommate. And you're going to pay your own bills and not be up in daddy's pocket. So once you're way out of his pocket, then he can't control you, and you don't have to see a shrink or do anything else he wants you to do because you'll be paying your own way through life. You're out of school now. If you have to get 2 jobs, do that. You can get a job on the weekends to make extra money, or you stay there and pay the extra money, get the second job to pay the extra money to pay the rent there where you are. Those are your options. But, the bottom line is, if you don't want to do what he wants you to do and he's holding the purse strings, then that means you got to let go of the purse strings. That's your only option. And he would want you to see psychiatrists can prescribe medications. That's my concern. They're doctors. They can prescribe drugs, where psychologists and therapists cannot. They cannot prescribe drugs. Only a psychiatrist can. So that's my concern. So if I were you, I would be give them stall out and say, oh, I'm looking for a good one. I'm looking for some recommendations. Someone who is used to working with people, young people my age group, and dealing with the kind of things that we have to deal with, with COVID. And just make up some shit that sounds good and buy yourself about a month time. And then in the meantime, you start, looking for a roommate, and then you move up the fuck up out of there. Or, like I said, get a second job so you can pay all the rent and all the bills by yourself. Those are your two options. Question number 9, male, 21 to 25, from Richmond, Virginia. This girl I was talking to didn't want to date me because I struggle with drinking. I've been talking to a great girl. We talked over the phone, but one night she realized I was drinking heavily because it became really obvious. Oh, probably you were slurring your words and whatnot. And now she says she just wants to be friends. Yet we got on so well and had so much in common, and she wanted to meet me, but now she doesn't. Would this be a reason to write someone off just because they have a drink problem? Oh, absolutely. I'm trying to wonder in what world you think you being a drunk is a benefit to anyone. Like, like someone is going to go onto dating sites and say like, gosh, my dream is to get with an alcoholic. The love that he's going to be able to give me and the wonderful nights of vomiting and dizziness and cussing and yelling. My heart, be still my heart. There's nobody who's done that, like in the history of the world, ever. So for you to think that some woman is going to want to, like, give up her youth and freedom to be with your drunk ass, you're tripping. Okay, you are tripping, sir. You tripping. You lucky she said she wants to be friends, because you know what? I would have cussed you out. I said, get your drunk ass off my phone, and then blocked you. But she's trying to be nice, which I don't advocate that. So young ladies who go this route are trying to worry about somebody's feelings, don't waste your time. Just say you're drunk and I'm not into alcoholics. So bye, ta-ta, see ya, deuce out. Yeah, you didn't. And didn't you say we got on so well and had so much in common? Do you know that if you're drunk, that might just be your drunk talk? That didn't really happen. It's just all in your imagination. That's what you wanted to happen, but you were so drunk you didn't even understand what was really going on. And she wasn't happy to meet you, and you don't have anything in common with her, and you didn't get along so well, and that's why she don't want to be bothered with you, right? I'm just like, wow. This is just so unbelievable to me. Let's move on to question number 10. We got 25 questions for those of you who just wandered in. We're on question number 10. I just want to warn you, this is not no little kumbaya advice column. We get real here. And yeah, girl, pissy drunk. Just pissy drunk. So that's to the point where she don't even want to talk to dude. That's just foul and disgusting. I was like that one time. Ugh, it was terrible. I can't drink like I used to. Question number 10. Okay, female, 30 to 36 out the UK. She says, I feel so guilty for even writing this, but I don't know where else to turn. Please be kind. No. I've been together with my partner for 2 years now. We've been through some really tough times, but this year has been particularly tough. Within the space of 6 months, he has lost 2 family members and a friend. Oh, wow. He also has a very stressful job that often leaves him feeling drained and unmotivated to do anything. He is severely depressed and has told me a few times he's feeling suicidal. Ooh. At the moment, he is receiving weekly counseling, but it only seems to help temporarily in that moment. His moods are so up and down, and I'm constantly walking on eggshells. We had an argument last week, and he arrived home late from work. I immediately suspected the worst, and as a result, I'm an absolute nervous wreck. I feel as a partner I have tried everything. I've encouraged him to go to the doctor, but he refuses. I think he thinks they'll just put him on tablets, which he doesn't want to take. I try to support him with everything that he does. I'm always trying to please him and make him happy, and whatever I do is never enough. I've turned down certain jobs because he doesn't want to be alone at night, and then as a result, he won't be able to sleep. I'm meant to be going to a funeral next week, and it's a long drive. My mom has offered to stay over at her house, but I can't because I know he'll be upset. and those things make him unhappy. Some days I can't get anything out of him, and it leaves me feeling lonely and exhausted. I also have a daughter from a previous relationship. I'm scared that my attention is so focused on my partner that's affecting how she's behaving. I am very unhappy, and the only thing stopping me from walking away is the fear of him doing something stupid. I wouldn't be able to live with myself knowing that I could have somehow stayed and helped him. Girl, you need to get on the nearest shrink's couch. I mean, take off and do like one of them running jumps onto the couch. That's what you need, because you are so codependent, it's not even funny. And the thing that bothers me is, you acknowledge that you're destroying your daughter in this process of worrying about this grown-ass man who's an idiot. But you just gloss over that 99% of the letter is about this raggedy dude, and that one little sentence, that one little 4 or 5 words is about your daughter. Oh. I want to cuss you out, right? You know that. You do understand that. I'm holding back. I'm holding back. Why am I holding back? I don't even know why I'm holding back. I just don't feel like it. But I'm going to tell you this. You are destroying your life and your daughter's life behind this fool. Stay at your mother's house, and while you're there, do some thinking about how you're fucking up your life and your daughter's world with this excuse of a human being that you decided to find and bring into your life. You can't help him. Okay? You're not a medical professional. You're not a mental health professional. You're not nothing but some dumb broad that he's just fucking over. Let me just be blunt. That's what you are in this man's world. A dumb broad who's giving too much, doing too much, sacrificing her self-respect, sacrificing her self-esteem, and sacrificing her baby to be up under this man and worry about him. Now, he's talking about he wants to commit suicide. I'd be like, go right ahead. You should do that. Because I'm tired of hearing you whine. I'm tired of you doing stupid stuff. I'm tired of you not taking charge of your life. I'm tired of you trying to put all the responsibility for what you think and be on me. I'm tired of you. So I'm leaving. Now, what you do after I'm gone, that's your red wagon. I really don't give a fuck. That would be the kind of talk that you need to give to him, so he would be like, oh, he's getting all this attention and all these kudos and rewards of time and worry and stuff. He's just feeding on it like a damn shark, and you just giving it to him. Please, the first time he came in here talking about, oh, I'm depressed, I've been like, well, you better go see somebody about that, because I don't do depressed motherfuckers. I just don't do it. I don't do people with mental issues, and I don't do depression. So you all messed up like that, I mean, it's sad that you lost all them family members and stuff, but you ain't doing nothing about it. Like when I lost people, I went and got some counseling. Because, some things you just really can't, you struggle with trying to deal with it by yourself. You get somebody who's got skills in that area that can help you over the hump. But, you just sitting there and you're not doing nothing and you want to cry about it and stuff, well, then that's just going to be the problem you're just going to have. I can't be bothered. Don't be depressed up in here, Lily. This is not the spot for depressed people. Question number 11. This is a female in the 30 to 36 age group from Detroit. Hey, Deb, love your show. I need some advice about a situation I'm in. I'm a single woman, no kids. I work and live alone. A very simple and peaceful life. I decided to start dating recently. Oh, boy. Never looking for anything serious or stressing over kids. I honestly am at a point where I just want to find a good friend or companion and go from there. Now, recently I met a guy on an app. I know. We haven't met in person yet. We only chat. I told him I would like to get comfortable first before I met. However, the more we chat, the more I don't like him. He appeared to be okay the first few weeks, but now he's starting to overshare. He told me he does a lot of drugs. Oh, he does a lot of drugs, weed, acid, coke, and even shrooms. He made me feel bad when I questioned why he does these things. He said it's not an everyday thing, just something he does in his downtime. He also drinks many times a week. While looking through his Instagram, I noticed that his facial features have changed over the years. He actually looks like a drug addict now compared to his pictures. Compared to his pictures from 4 or 5 years ago. He also told me that he is into submissive, painful eggplant
/ role play stuff. Well, he just spilling his guts, ain't he? I want to stop talking to him, but I don't want to be the reason he goes deeper into drugs. He confessed to me that love has been hard to find and that he has depression and is lonely. Of course, I won't ever meet this man or tell him where I live or work, so my personal info is private. But I really just want to break off the communication with this man in a way that won't hurt him more. I think this man is a whole crackhead pretending to be normal. This letter is funny as shit. Okay, let me go back to the beginning because I forgot what you said. I've been laughing too hard. Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay, the more you do. Okay, you know what you do? He starts talking about drugs and he's all this stuff, and he, quote, made you feel bad when you question why he does this thing. You shouldn't even have asked him why he does this thing. Let me explain to you how you handle situations like this. He's talking, right, and you just go click. And then when he's gone, right, because it takes, about 10 seconds to disconnect, then you pick up the phone and you hit that block button. And then it's done. That's it. It's a wrap. He's effectively removed from your life in 10 seconds. That's about all it takes. But you don't want to be the reason he goes deeper in drugs. You know what? You all on your own jock about that. Your ass is not that important to him where you would be responsible for his behavior. He found all of this stuff. He did all of this stuff by himself. Stop blowing up your head. You don't have that kind of influence and power over his life. He don't like you like that. Y'all ain't had no love affair where you getting a divorce and you got 5 kids and all, he's going to be all destroyed and shit. You just really inflating your ego on that move. You need to quit. Love has been hard to find because he's in love with a bottle and some drugs. So, what woman can compete with that? That's his lady, that stuff. Okay, so you break off the communication, do you either do 2 things. Either you ghost him and you just, block him so he can't call you again. Or you do the other thing where you say, oh, I met somebody. It was nice chatting with you, but I'm going to turn my attention to this guy over here now. So I hope you find what you're looking for. In other words, you just lie, okay? So it's going to be one of them 2 ways is what you do. Okay, you pick which one's going to work the best for you. But I personally like the ghosting technique because I don't want to hear them begging. I don't want to hear crying. I don't want to hear why. I don't want to have to, you feeling like you need an explanation. I don't care. I just want you off my phone, out of my life, out of my world. And whatever way that's going to make that happen the fastest, that's what we're going to do. So you pick one of those 2, and then in the future, stay your last off of online sites because you're not ready yet. The fact that you are concerned about his feelings and, you're going to be motivating him to go to do anything shows that your mind is not right about this yet. You need to spend more time on this channel look at that video, especially the one that says, what's the one about feelings? Control your emotions. That's the name of it. Control your emotions, because on this, your emotions are all out of control in relation to the level of relationship that you had with this clown. You too worried about his feelings. I don't give a fuck about nobody's feelings but mine. Especially in a situation like this where I don't even know the clown. I ain't even met him. And you don't want to be the reason. Question number 12, female 35 to 40 from the UK. I started to date someone. It's been about 2 months. Started off okay, met for some drinks, although he does not really drink. Went for drives and walks. He always seems busy on a Saturday night. If I text him on a Saturday night, he would reply on Sunday that he had, quote, nodded off. Oh, he's got a woman. He still lives home, 40 years old. I have my own house and live with my early teen daughter. When we make arrangements, he sends a text saying he will be late as he has nodded off, which I find offensive if he knew we had an arrangement to meet. Okay. We now only seem to go for a drive, and last night it was obvious that he only wanted one thing. It made me feel cheap, and I just froze. Then I felt I was not normal. If we are both attracted to each other, I should not have reacted like that. I'm not materialistic. I do not expect to be wined and dined every time, but today I just feel confused. I've had some really bad relationships in the past where I was cheated on and just used for intimacy. He probably thinks I'm frigid and a prude. I have not been to his house. He lives with his dad. Not met any of his family or friends. So starting to think this is not exclusive. I can't say it was very romantic to drive around and pull up on a country lane and be pounced on. Sadly, he reclined his seat and I knew what his one and only intention was. It just made me feel so cheap. I just froze and I felt sickened. You in the 35 to 40 age group. How do I say this? I'm getting tired of cussing you ladies out, but it's like it's just getting to the point where I just can't do nothing else. This is stupid as hell. And you have a daughter, and your daughter is seeing you let yourself be treated like this. Please explain to me how you think your daughter's gonna make a good choice in men when you modeling this kind of desperate, low-level bitch shit relationship for her. It's like you don't have no standards for treatment. You don't have no boundaries for nothing. You just going along with the 2 months. You worrying about that instead of worrying about how you're treated for those 2 months. This shit right here wouldn't have lasted past the second day. Now for me, see, you make arrangements, then you send me a text saying you're gonna be late. I'll say till you text back, never mind, don't come. As a matter of fact, lose my number. See, that's how you have a boundary. Because this when somebody does this like this, it tells you right there, this man's not excited about seeing you. When a man wants to be with you, he is Johnny on the spot. He might even be early, but he's going to sit outside in his car, or he's going to call and ask you, can he come in, and wait for you to finish getting ready. That's how it is when he wants to see you and he's excited about it. He's not going to be playing these kind of stupid games. This was a test to see how weak and silly and desperate you are. And you failed miserably. You failed like 9,000. And then you just let him, so now you let the dates drop off to where you just drive around and he gets his dick wet, and that's it. That's the quote date. And you don't even charge. Oh, lady. Okay, you say you had some really bad relationships in the past and you got cheated on and just used for intimacy. That's what's happening here. Okay? And until you learn, I suggest you get you some therapy. Until you learn what a good relationship looks like and what good treatment looks like and what respect from a man looks like, you're going to continue to have these kind of relationships because you don't even recognize abuse, mistreatment, and disrespect when it's right in your face. Get you some therapy. Make sure that you get that, because I want you to be able to model for your daughter a woman who has pride in herself, who has high self-esteem, who lets her daughter see what boundaries are and how you move some clown about your life who disrespects you even one time. You don't give him time 2, 3, 19. You don't do that. He gets one time. Once. Question 13, female, 30 to 36, from Poland. Oh, my boyfriend, who is very respectful, loyal, has good manners, etc., has a college buddy from a previous job as a friend on Facebook. Okay, I guess she's trying to figure out how to put this in English. Okay, they used to be sort of friends, although not really very close, and they don't hang out anymore in real life. But Deb, this guy is a total degenerate pervert that turned out to have had an inappropriate relationship with his estranged daughter. We all live in a small town for the context. That's how I know. My boyfriend did not remove this freak from his Facebook after finding this out, and often still casually likes his posts. This really bothers me. I know a lot of people will say it's a silly thing to make a fuss about Facebook activity. However, this is such an extreme case, and the deed is so gross to me that seeing my boyfriend liking random posts from this freak makes me sick. And I find it bizarre that he isn't grossed out by this guy enough to block him. I can't think clearly because degenerates trigger me, and I'm very black and white about these issues. But as far as my boyfriend goes, I notice that he is far less judgmental to people that he knows or if they belong to his groups, like colleagues, I think that's what she's trying to say. Colleagues, friend, same political group, family members. It's not that he defends them, but he is far more lax with his moral standards and just doesn't care. Am I being over dramatic because I'm so grossed out? I'm asking you because I am emotionally a very intense person, and this often clouds my judgments, which is why I unfortunately can't trust it. My mind says I'm reading too much into this, but what I feel is disgust by his lack of disgust. maybe I should just deal with the fact that not everyone has the same perception and give it a rest since it does not directly affect me at all. I'm sorry to torture you with this. I'm fine with hearing harsh words. Oh, no, you're not going to. Well, you're going to hear some harsh words, but they won't be about you. I'm going to tell you something, though. Let's see. Your boyfriend, you don't, which is unusual because most women, the first thing they want to do is tell you how long they've been with the dude. You didn't say that, but I'm going to tell you this. This is a moral stance. This is a value stance. This is something like the core of who you are as a person. I'm right there with you. If somebody tells me they have a boyfriend, a father, a cousin, a male relative, a brother, anybody in their, any male in their family who does some degenerate shit like that to his, especially to his own daughter, and then this, your man, your mom relative, anybody is gonna stay friends with that person on, even if it's on social media, they don't cut any and all contact with that person, I'm done. It's a wrap. Because you see, this is the kind of thing by a man not taking that kind of stance, he's basically saying he's okay with it. And you know, as much as I hate to say it, yeah, exactly, learning, says birds of a feather flock together. That's exactly what I was going to say. In some way, your boyfriend is getting some kind of titillation from this scenario that he knows about. It could be they're sharing pictures. It could be the dude is into other kinds of kiddie stuff that your boyfriend don't want you to know about. Whatever it is, you know, because see, this is how, when people have this kind of interest where they don't make strong, determined, firm boundaries against it, a firm stand, my imagination starts going wild. So you have something to decide here. Especially if you have young girls in your family. If your friends have young daughters that's going to be around your boyfriend. These are things you need to think about, Missy. And I hate to be so blunt, but your boyfriend is fucking trash. He's a trash motherfucker. He's nasty, disgusting, and gross. And like I said, you think about the young girls in your family and stuff, you make sure that none of them are around your boyfriend. And as I'm saying, you should get a new boyfriend, one who has the moral stance and the value stance that you have about protecting children from predators. Your boyfriend does not have that protective barrier. He don't give a fuck about what happens to kids. And that's what he's telling you by his continued association with this person. Okay? So so like I said, my harsh language isn't for you unless you decide to stay with him. Now then, yeah, then I'll have some harsh words for you. Get rid of this fucker. He is garbage. He is dangerous. If you have any young girls or you plan to have any young girls around, he's a dangerous motherfucker to have around them girls. Question number 14, female, 225 from Atlanta. I would just like to vent and ask for advice because I've been seeing this repeated pattern whenever I try to get myself out there and date. Just a week ago, a friend I have considered my best friend, we've been friends for years, confessed to me that she and my ex-boyfriend were dating and told me that she just wanted to let me know because she doesn't want me to think that she's keeping secrets. At first, I was shocked. Atlanta, y'all. Atlanta. I was shocked and considerably calm, so I told her I was cool with it. But the longer I pondered over it, the more I felt mixed feelings of betrayal, anger, and sadness. I kept thinking to myself, she was there when he and I met. She was the one who set us up. She was the one who kept pushing for my ex-boyfriend and I's relationship to continue. She was there when I cried, when my ex told me I wasn't enough for him. She listened to me when I told her many, many times that my ex is breaking up with me again. She knew everything, yet she still chose to date him. Of course, I do not have feelings for my ex anymore, but he left me with incredible trauma. Whenever I meet new people, I would just do whatever they want. I would fit their expectations of me, and I would always be anxious as to what other people thought of me because I wanted to be enough for someone. I'm scared to confront her because I know that she would feel bad about her decision of dating my ex, and I really don't want to be the reason for someone else breaking up because those are her feelings, and I really shouldn't involve myself because it's not part of their relationship. I'm just the past. I asked for a close friend's advice, and she told me that if I wasn't ready to talk to her, I don't have to. But I just really get sad and bad for myself whenever I see my best friend. I didn't want to cut her off from my life because I just couldn't deal with the idea of them being together. But at the same time, I want to respect their relationship, so what should I do? Well, you don't have to, continue to be friends with her. There's no law saying that. But what you do, I want you to understand something. So I'm going to go through this because I want to show you where you were stupid. And you brought this on yourself. Okay, now, you say that you cried when your ex told her that your ex told you that you weren't enough for him. That alone was a reason to end the relationship. Somebody's going to disrespect you to that level and you're going to try to stay in a relationship with them. What was wrong with you? Okay, then she listened to me when I told her many, many times, you right, that my ex is breaking up with me again. Okay, after the first time, what was wrong with you that you kept going back for some more of that bullshit? What was you thinking? Where's your self-esteem? She knew everything, yet she chose to date him. Well, yeah, she chose to date him because he wasn't right for you. That doesn't mean he wasn't right for her. But see, like you said, you don't have no feelings for him anymore, so why are you tripping? Everything about your relationship with this dude was some bullshit anyway. So you should be happy to be passing that baton to someone else. He was just a baton of trouble for you. If he works with her, then that's great. You don't have no reason to be hating on him. Now, I know a lot of women would be all in their feelings about it. Well, but they might have liked each other when we was dating. So fucking what? It wasn't like you was engaged to him. You didn't marry him. You don't have no kids with him. You never living with him, nothing. You didn't have nothing going on with this man, especially in the light of these frequent breakups and him telling you that you weren't enough for him. So why would you be mad if he went with somebody else? You should be happy. You should have sent him there. To anywhere. Whether with her or anybody, you should have sent him away. You shouldn't have waited for him to leave you. So, in the future, have some better standards about what kind of man you want. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And I mean, but maybe he wanted her all along or something. Who knows what the fuck? But bottom line is, he don't want you. And you don't want him, so whoever he's with is not your concern. Move on. Now, if it bothers you to look at them, then you can cut ties with her. And like I said, there's no rule saying that you have to continue to be her friend and have her around. But, all this angst and animosity and wanting to talk to her about it and all this old shit here, keep your mouth closed. It's none of your business. And if she's like me, you come at her with some bullshit like that, I'm going to cuss your bitch ass out. I don't give a fuck what you think. You didn't work out with him. Y'all was breaking up every other week. So that should have told you something. So for you to come over here now, years later, talking about, well, that was my boyfriend. Bitch, please, get out of here. That's what you would get from me. Question number 15. This is a female in the 18 to 21 age group from San Antonio. I'm 18, my boyfriend's 19, and we are about to hit 7 months of dating. We met online, and he was and still is one of the sweetest guys I've ever dated. My only issue is for the past few months, he's lost motivation and ability to contribute to the relationship. His original after high school plan failed through no fault of his own, and since then he hasn't been the same. When we met, he woke up at 8 or 9, studied a few hours for his exams, and was sweet to me over the phone. He was extremely caring, would get worried when I was sick, wrote me poetry, and was always sympathetic of my bad days. He brought me snacks every time we hung out. He was excited to call me and would drop whatever he was doing most of the time. Now he usually wakes up around noon, plays video games for most of the day, or hangs out with his mom. I convinced him to start taking an online course in his subject of interest and to apply for college. He did both, but after a long time of procrastinating and is happy he did it. I helped him a lot with his essay and application. Another issue, he's broke, okay? He applies to minimum wage jobs, but he doesn't get accepted. Love and affection is also, I'm skipping a lot because she just wanted to way too much detail. Love and affection is also an issue. For last night I asked him if he could call me and distract me because I was having an allergic reaction to something I ate. He said in a few minutes, but then took 15 or 20 minutes. Back when we started dating, issues seemed a lot easier to solve. Back then I told him he needed to plan more dates, and he planned us a really fun one for a week. Most recently, at about 5 months, I asked him to plan a date because it was his turn, and I was really stressed in school. His response was that he was stressed too. I asked him if he had anything planned for our 6-month anniversary. It might seem dumb, but something cute that people my age celebrate. He said he'd been too stressed, but that the thought of writing a poem, I asked him if he still could write it. Now we're almost at 7 months and nothing has been written. Okay, I'm skipping that. Oh, am I asking for too much here? Do all relationships eventually come to this point? This is my first long-term relationship. I'm completely oblivious and kind of scared about what to do. Am I justified in wanting to break up? Is it possible to ride it out at this point? I really thought he would get better after we talked things through, but it's impossible to reach him. He is improving slightly, like I mentioned, with the cooking me a meal, but overall, what do I do here? Am I an issue in this too? I really want to work things out because of how he treated me in the start. Oh, what's that video I just put up? The sunk cost fallacy. You're in that mode right now. You sunk all this time into some bullshit, and now you don't want to end it. You're just gonna keep putting in more time, more energy, more effort to try to get a payoff that's not coming. Okay, check that video out. I'll try to remember to link to it. The sunk cost fallacy, and that's what you're doing right now, right here. Lady, you're only 18 years old. Okay, this guy is a bum. His mother lets him sit at the house, sleep till noon, and play video games all day. That's her child. It's not yours. Okay, you need a man. This guy is a baby. Get rid of him, break it off, and go and find you somebody else who's working and is, a progressive thinker. He's going to school. He's got his shit together. He's, on his path. That's the kind of guy you want. This guy, you got to hold his hand and do all this stuff for him. He's like a kid. So get rid of, don't even bother. Give him back to his mommy and just move on down the road. Yep, he had one disappointment, Keith, and he just ready to give up in his entire life. So, he has no resilience, and that is the kind of man that nobody needs. He just, like, one little thing don't go his way, and he just, like Chicken Little, the sky is falling, and he just gonna lay down and just be useless for the rest of his life because of that one thing that happened when he was 18. Oh, my God, I don't know how these girls take it. Question 16, male, 40 to 45, from Vallejo, California. Hello, I'm 43, she's 42. We've been together since high school, been married for 8 years, have 2 beautiful daughters, 4 and 7. A while back, I found something on her Instagram that didn't seem right. She had gone out for drinks with her sister and her friends, and at some point, she sent a quick video of herself and her sister smiling at the camera, obviously drinking with loud music playing. So I found that she had sent that video to a guy/family friend of theirs a few years older than us, and he had responded privately, but I couldn't see the message. So she claimed she sent that video to everyone that follows her on Instagram, but when I checked everyone's account, I did not see anyone else receiving the video. Then after that, a few weeks later, I see in her history that she Googled Aquarius Scorpio compatibility. I'm Aquarius and she's Scorpio. She also Googled, are Aquarius and Scorpio toxic together? And are Aquarius and Scorpio a bad match? And had opened up a few of the results. She then Googled Scorpio and Scorpio compatibility in sex, life, and love, and opened up a few of the results as well. I then looked up to find the guy she had sent the video to and discovered he is a Scorpio also. When I bring it up, I get the same response from her. She gets angry and starts accusing me of being crazy or weirdo, insults and put down. She also avoids answering the question every time. Am I wrong for asking for an explanation, or am I making something out of nothing? You need to go and find a cliff and jump off of it. That's what you need to do. This is so stupid. Do you understand how retarded you sound? First of all, how you gonna look on other people's accounts and see what they have in their inbox? You don't have access to other people's accounts. If she sent it to them as on Instagram, that little message, the little private message thing, your ass is not going to be able to know what they got. You only gonna know if they're showing on their actual wall, which that's not how you send people videos. Okay, it's gonna be private. So you have no way to prove that who she sent it to or nothing else. You tripping. Okay, luckily at least I know about Instagram. I don't know about a lot of these other things. And then you worried about what she Googled. She's probably doing that because she could figure out how stupid her husband is and where she thought that y'all was compatible, because now she's having second thoughts, seeing as how you acted so stupid all the damn time. That's probably why she was Googling Scorpio Aquarius compatibility, the bad match thing, because she's sick of your shit. I'm going to suggest something to you. Leave your wife alone before you don't have a wife no more. This kind of behavior here, this is toxic. This is going to destroy your relationship. You're doing too much. I swear, you need to get a job with the CIA. You doing all of this. This is just unbelievable. Yeah, if my husband did some shit like that, I would leave him. I would leave him. I just wouldn't. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to have you checking my stuff. I'm not going to have you looking through accounts. I'm not going to have you ask me about a fucking 3-second video. We're not going to do any of that. Okay? We're not going to do that. And if that's the way that you think a marriage should go, then we don't need to be in one. Yeah, I'd leave. I'd be gone. I'd be through. Just on this alone. Because I know what this means. You know? Yeah, he's insecure, but insecure men act stupid, and I don't have time. I need a confident man. I mean, you know what the kind of guy will be like, babe, you sent the video to your friends and stuff. What they say? They say, ooh, girl, you so fine. I'm jealous of that motherfucker that's waiting for you at your house. See, if I was a dude, that's the kind of shit I would say. I'm not gonna let my feathers get ruffled because somebody sent a video to somebody so he could drool over my woman. I'd be like, yeah, jealous motherfucker. I'm not going to get intimidated by that. And women love men who have confidence. And, dude, you don't have none. 0. Question number 17, female, 226 out of Queens, New York. My college has sent me into a spiral. My parents said they would pay for my tuition before I accepted to a specific college they wanted me to go to. Once I was committed and attended a year, they said, never mind, you got to pay. I got in with a scholarship, so at least that, but I didn't want to go there. I only went because my parents would pay for that one. I'm resentful at myself for staying and paying my way through in a city I hate, and a major which gives me 7-hour classes. It's my own fault, so I'm only resenting myself. I'm mad because all my friends went to state colleges and didn't have to commute their asses to and from school. I cried through my first year, but I slapped myself for the second year and got it together. Then we went virtual. Now I'm back in person for school, and everyone here wants to be different. They all identify as the opposite of their gender or act really strange for attention. Others are students from other countries who stick to their own. To each their own. I was never popular, but I always approach people and they just don't seem too receptive in this college. I made 0 friends at first. I tried, but later I realized I'm all right on my own. My only problem is that all my other friends from out of school moved on. I used to be able to make friends, or at least when I lost friends, new ones would come into my life because I was doing stuff. Now I can't bring myself to. I don't even know if friends are that important because I'm lonely at times, but I don't care enough. I'm not sure if this is depression or I don't know what I want. How do I stop resenting the past and slap sense into myself? I've been trying for 4 years. Do I leave my city after college or should I deal with it and just learn to like things here? Well, I mean, what year are you in here? Okay, so you went through your first year and the second year you got it together. So what, are you in your 3rd year now? I'm not real clear. But you can transfer. You do realize that, right? You can transfer schools. You don't have to stay in the same school. You can transfer. All the units that are transferable, you can transfer them. And then you can switch to the major that you want because you will be paying for it yourself. That's your option. Otherwise, you're going to sit there and you're going to you're going to stay there because you got a scholarship and you're going to finish up your degree, and then you can go to another college and get you an advanced degree at the college that you want to. By then you'll be out of school, you can work and you can save up your money, you can pay your tuition yourself for your master's degree, your MBA, whatever it is you want to get. Okay? But right now, that's your only 2 choices. Either you shut up and stay there and finish it out, finish out the ride, or you pack your stuff up, go down, see the counselor, and transfer schools, and see if you can get a scholarship to the new school. If your grades have been kept up, that shouldn't be a problem, right? So that's what my suggestion is. So you look into either one of those options, you figure out what you want, what's going to make you happy. As far as, this trying to make friends thing, why do we keep getting all these letters lately about these girls that are not making friends? All these things about, worrying about friends. meetups. I mean, I don't know. I just keep sending you all back to that because at least it gets you out the house and you get to be around some people who are like-minded. But, I mean, shouldn't you be putting more energy into maybe like taking extra classes? You got to school sooner, versus worrying about hanging out with a bunch of friends. I don't know. I mean, to me, like, I think back on the friendships I had and they were all stupid. They were dick chasing, missing class because they want to hang out with some stupid boy, half going to work. I don't know, just stupid stuff, just acting stupid. And I just really, there was no real benefit to being, quote, friends with those girls in school. It wasn't any. They didn't really bring anything beneficial to my life that I can think of in retrospect. So I want you to think about that. All I found is that they was just, something to distract me from what I needed to be doing. And, I could have got out of college even sooner. Instead of hanging out with them dumb bitches. Yeah, they were chasing. Exactly, Keith. And just always worried about some dude, spending all kind of money on makeup and doing stuff and all stuff to look cute for some clown that they not even gonna know next month. I was over it. I never really tripped about that kind of stuff. Exactly. That's what I'm saying, Sybil. Take extra classes, extra labs. I would do something so I could get the fuck up out of there sooner and be on my way on to about my career and stuff. Question number 18. This is a male in the 26 to 30 age group out of New Jersey. My girlfriend and I, we're both 27, have been dating for almost 3 years. We moved in together recently and our relationship is great. She is an extremely loving and caring person. But my girlfriend stopped talking to me after I saved a woman from being assaulted and I need to understand what's going on with her. Deb, I was coming home from a gig. I'm a sax player. Late at night a few nights ago and I heard sobbing behind a dumpster. I went in to investigate and a man was trying to force himself on a woman. He saw me and tried to take a swing at me. We got into a fight and it got pretty brutal. I managed to beat him and force him down until the cops arrived. My face got bloodied up badly. I broke a finger and cracked a rib. I was taken to the hospital after that and my girlfriend rushed there. She was extremely worried and started crying when she saw my face. I reassured her that I was okay and then she went home after looking after me for a few hours. She came to visit me after her job the next day, but she was very distant. She took care of me but didn't try to talk to me and only responded with one-word answers to my attempts to start a conversation. She's even avoided looking at my face. She's been the same way even after I was discharged after 2 days and came home. She keeps avoiding conversations with me. What is wrong? She's never behaved like this before. What should I do? Did I do something wrong? Nope. What you have is a girl who, I guess she was really scared. She was probably stressed and worried that something happened to you or that something could have worse happened to you and that she may have lost you, like if the guy had a gun or a knife or something like that. But as we see, nothing like that happened. You're a tough dude. And, I understand her being upset. I totally get that. But I don't understand. Maybe someone else has something. Yeah, other than fear part, I don't know what it could be. Except, okay, it's either fear or anger. She's angry that you did that and took that risk for a stranger. In which case, if that's the case, if that's what she admits to, then you and her are going to need to have a serious conversation. Because I tell you, if I had a guy, like, my boyfriend did, he didn't actually have to get into a fight, but he did push the guy the dude was pummeling on this woman right on the corner in full view of everybody. And people was just walking by and the dude was just wailing on this girl and she was skinny, a little skinny black girl. And this big old dude, and he was just punching this girl and she's screaming and hollering and everything and nobody did anything. So my guy, we're in the traffic, right? You know how they had the traffic going this way and the traffic lane going that way, and then the cars parked on each side. He jumped out of the car. Because he was in the city visiting me, so we were in my car. He jumped out, jumped over the hood of my car, went between the other cars, grabbed the guy and threw him up against the building and told him, if you want to fight somebody, fight me. Now, dude, at the time, he was 6'3" and buff as fuck. That's when I only didn't, mess with really, like, fine dudes. And so the dude took one look at that and he decided he didn't want none of that. And so he went on walking down the street. And so he brings the girl to my car. We took her over to the nearest emergency room. What was the name of that little hospital? St. Luke's. in San Francisco. We took her to St. Luke's emergency room and left her there, and they called the police and everything. But we left. I'm like, I'm not getting involved in this shit. I'm out. So we left. But I feel like, for me, what you did was so brave, so wonderful. You saved that woman, possibly her life. And at least no matter what, you saved her from anything worse happening to her. Okay, for that, if you was my boyfriend, you would be getting so much loving, it would just be not funny. What you want to eat, what you want me to cook. When your friends come over, y'all can play video games all night long. I'll go to my girl's house and make sure I'm not even here to complain. Nothing. You would be treated like a fucking king because of the fact that you cared enough to help somebody who was in a position where they could not help themselves. To me, that is what manhood is about, protecting the weak and the small and the vulnerable. So to me, if you like proposing and shit, but I understand that she was scared. I'm saying that's a normal thing. I would be afraid too. But it sounds like she's angry at you. So this is beyond. It sounds like her treatment of you sounds like she's angry. So at some point, you're going to have to address that, but be prepared to hear some shit out of her mouth that's not going to sound good, okay? Because this could be, the kind of thing like you date somebody and you have to see people in different situations with different kind of pressures on them, and then you get to see what kind of person they really are and what they're really made of. And I'm thinking that you've been together almost 3 years. This might be the end of this shit right here, because you're about to see a side of her that I don't think you're going to like very much. The fact that you jumped in like that shows that you have a certain kind of mindset that she doesn't have. This could be very telling for you. No, it does not sound like that, Faye. You all up in your imagination. We don't do stuff like that here. We go by what's in the letter. Okay? And if he was protecting a complete stranger, then most certainly he would protect the woman he loves. So that is an errant thought that we shall not even give any credence to. Let's move on. Question number 19, female, 21 to 26, from Pembroke Pines, Florida. I wonder where that is. Hi, Miss Deb. You've helped me in relationship troubles, but this is more personal. I truly, honestly have a strong dislike for my father. I've always had this awareness since I was younger, but I do not love him at all. I hate being around him. Being close to him makes me uncomfortable. He was abusive with his discipline style when I was younger. For example, I did something he didn't like once, like be outside in the front yard with kids when I was younger, and as a result, he picked me up by my neck, screaming at me. Or there was a time he chased me around the house because I didn't want a beating over something small, and he had me pinned on the garage floor, his elbow on my neck, screaming at me, pointing his finger at my forehead to make me feel small, and he beat me as well. Wait a minute, wait a goddamn minute. Where was your mother when all of this was going on? That motherfucker would have been wearing a metal frying pan or something bat upside his head. Recently, I'm having car issues and told him this whole plan that I had, since I don't really feel the need to get my car fixed, but he completely dismissed everything I said and just told me to fix it. I'll be working from home soon and don't necessarily see a need, but his tone of voice and attitude towards the whole thing made me feel small and insignificant. He's always talked to me this way, everyone in my family really. Every time I think of our relationship or things he's said and done in the past, I immediately start to tear up. I came to the realization that the way I've dealt with men in my life was because I've always been trying to get the approval and admiration and respect I've always wanted him to give me. He's never even said sorry for anything that he's ever said or done. How do I move on and forgive him for my mental health? Everyone in my family says I should respect him as my father, but a part of me hates my mother for choosing him as a sperm donor. I wouldn't feel a thing if he passed on. Please help me. The best thing I can do for you, young lady, is to advise you to use your health insurance benefits and get your little butt to the nearest shrink. Therapist, counselor, psychologist, whatever. That's going to be what's going to be able to help you, because this is such a heavy load and you've been carrying it for so many years, decades. I'm not in a position to help you with this. This is going to require some professional intervention, and I'm serious right now. You need this. This was highly abusive. And this is the kind of stuff, like really your mother should have called the police on him for child abuse. That's how bad this is. Picking a child up by their neck, you could cause spinal damage. That kid could be paralyzed, die, choke to death, suffer brain damage from lack of oxygen to their brain. There's so many ways this could have went sideways, and the fact that your mother didn't intervene on your behalf is frightening. So of course you're mad at her, and then you're hating your father. That's both of your parents are useless as fuck, and of course you're furious at them. Anybody would be. I'm mad at them, and I don't even know them. So that's going to be what I say. I'm assuming you living at home, because he still has the right to be trying to tell you what to do. Is that what's going on? You need to move out. Even if you go move someplace with a friend and y'all split a place, you need 2-bedroom and y'all each split, pay half the rent or whatever. If this is the case, you don't say, but if that is what's going on, you need to get away from these people. And then as you start your therapy, you'll have the space to do, cry and do whatever healing that you need to do. This is horrible. This is horrible. There's so many situations where these parents are just so fucked up with their daughters. It's just unbelievable. So look at that, okay? If you're living at home, you get out of there. You've got to get out of there. The second you're out of there, rework your budget and then figure out how you're going to get you some therapy. Most jobs have some counseling, at least, like a couple of initial sessions that's free or very, very low cost. Look into that. Try to find a place where you can get some sliding scale stuff, maybe even group therapy, because that's less expensive. And you're in there with other people. Y'all can talk amongst yourselves and support each other. Investigate some stuff, okay? Because you're very young, but you're not going to be able to have the life that you deserve to have as long as you're carrying this load on your shoulder. This is horrible. I feel for you. I'm so sorry that you had to go through that. Nobody should be treated like that. Question number 20. Female, 30 to 35 from Seattle, Washington. I'm 32 and back in the dating world after a breakup and hiatus from dating. I was asked by a man to come over so he could cook dinner at his place as a second date. Oh, he did he? Our first date was time boxed between work meetings to 1 hour. This felt way too soon to me. Okay, so you had a 1 hour date with him, and the next date he wanted you to come to his house. Okay. This felt way too soon to me. How do you decide when to meet someone privately when you're dating? To me, this felt more safety related than an expectation concern. Basically, I'm curious about what metrics other women use to judge when a good time is to meet in private. Not this specific case with this guy. I told him I prefer to meet out, and it was not a big deal. Just in general. Okay, my thing is this. Don't you even suggest no bullshit like that. Okay? I'm not coming to your house, you monkey motherfucker. I'm not doing that. I don't know what the fuck you got going on in your house. I don't even know you yet. I spent 60 minutes with you. And suddenly you want me to be putting myself in some kind of vulnerable position at your house when I don't even know who the fuck you are? No, we're not doing that, son. We're not doing that. What metrics other women use? I'm trying to think. I don't know. I don't go to dudes' houses. I just don't. I just feel no real reason to do that. They can come to mine, but that's going to be after like 7, 8, 10 dates. You ain't coming to my house, especially when my daughter was little. Oh, no. You don't even get to know where I live. I will meet you there. Nah. Too much, you know what? I don't know. Maybe it's because, being raised in the hood, you just hear too many scary stories about women going up in dudes' houses. I just have never had any interest in being one of them stories. You in the bed with your dude, right? You thinking, you with your dude. Suddenly the bedroom door opens and here's 3 of his friends. What you gonna do? Remember a couple of weeks ago, a month or so ago, we had a letter from a girl. She was at her boyfriend's house, right? The boy shares with his brother, and the brother knocks on the door. The boyfriend goes to the door and comes back saying, "Oh, my brother wanted to join in." Remember that letter? That kind of shit. That's why I don't never go to dudes' houses. Never. I don't know. They don't know your roommate. I don't know your habits. I don't know who got a key. I don't know if you lied about your woman. I don't know if your mama's coming up in here. I don't know if this is even your spot. I don't know anything, and I'm not going to do that. Okay? You remember that one, Elizabeth? I'm trying to tell you because I was like, whoa, that was cray. That poor girl, but luckily she had enough sense to get the fuck up out of there instantaneously. So, that's the kind of stuff that happens. Or they want to slide something, offer you a drink, right? Suddenly you waking up and you don't have your clothes on and you trying to figure out what the fuck happened. Or he done made you a drink and then put something in it. I don't know. I don't go to dudes' houses. I just don't. Question number 21, female, 225 from Rochester, New York. My boyfriend told me that he is not against pro-choice, but says that the dad has a 50% right to stop the termination if he wants the kid. We disagree, so I wanted to get your take. Well, we're going to finish the rest of this letter, but I already know my answer. I'm 21. My boyfriend is 20. We are talking about an accidental pregnancy. In his religion, it's a sin to abort. I'm pro-choice, and he seems to be pro-life. I was telling him I don't want kids, and I would want to abort it if I do get pregnant. If the birth control failed, we got to the topic of burying the baby and giving it to an orphanage if the mom doesn't want to have the kid. And he started saying stuff like, but he's paying for the baby. The dad should have a 50% right to make the mom have the kid. And he stuck like, if she's healthy enough to bear it, that is. It honestly feels like it is a pro-life position in disguise. So is he manipulating me to have the baby if I ever do get pregnant? Assuring me that I might have the choice to not have it? Or am I overthinking this? I would end this relationship if he keeps pushing on this topic. I clearly said I don't ever want kids. I love you. I love you. You're 21 years old and you have more sense than some women twice your age. And that is what I was going to say. You can see this again. This is a value. This is a value and a moral system that the two of you are on opposite ends of the spectrum. First of all, you tell his little monkey ass, you don't have no control over my body. You don't decide shit that goes on over here. And if something accidentally would happen, that's exactly what it is, an accident. But I'm going to intentionally get rid of it because I told you I'm not having no goddamn kids. I'm not having them by you or nobody else. Okay? So he needs to understand that. So that's what he's saying. He would definitely be putting pressure on you if you did accidentally get pregnant, because the birth control does fail in spite of no matter how well you use it, the precautions you take. We had 2 birth control things in motion and my daughter still got here. We don't understand that, but it happened, okay? And so, there's things that happen and you just really we don't really know how Mother Nature works sometimes. And shit just happens and then you end up pregnant and you be sitting there scratching your head saying, how did this happen? So I would suggest that since you know that this is his position, don't ever fuck him again. And it's because this is the kind of dude that would sabotage your birth control to make sure you got pregnant, to make you have a baby, just so he could be right. I'm telling you, this is a dangerous situation for you to be in. If I were you, I would dump his ass like on the spot. On the spot. Because he's already telling you what time it is, what he's going to be trying to do. If that's not what you want, then you're supposed to get rid of him because that's his position. You want a man that says, oh, yeah, I don't want any kids either. I'll pay for the abortion, but, yeah, we don't want to. Let's make sure we keep our birth control game tight, all this old stuff. That's what you want to have. Be like that dude I was dating, thinking he was going to be slick and move up in my condo. Oh, so, what would happen, if I accidentally got you pregnant? Now, this the way, not if you accidentally got pregnant, but if I accidentally got you pregnant. Now, the phrasing of that was highly suspect. Y'all know what I mean? There's a difference. There's a difference. I accidentally quote, end quote. So, that means some sabotage shit's going on, some slick shit. So I said, without even looking up, I said, I'll be at the abortion clinic so fast it would make your head swim. And I'm flipping through a magazine, right? I'm just like, That bitch word. I didn't even look up. I just said it, and he was so mad. He was just livid. But I just, was very clear on that. That's not going to happen. Not trying to do all that, sir. So you keep that in mind, young lady. He's gonna give you this a rattlesnake shaking his warning shot at you. You better pay attention. Question number 22, male, 26 to 30 from Red Bluff, California. My issue is that my girlfriend wants to stay friends and hang out with her ex-boyfriend. I'm not sure how to feel about it. I met her a year ago. She recently moved to a different city for work. I'm happy for her that she's following her dreams. We talk hours almost every day. I still have no doubt in my head that we love each other, and we see each other once a month, so far so good. But her ex lives in the same city she moved to. When she first moved there, I had expected that they wouldn't see each other based on the things that she had told me, which were overwhelmingly negative. However, recently she told me that she wants to meet him for closure. I was a bit surprised, but ultimately I didn't want to control her or tell her who she should or shouldn't meet, so of course I supported her decision to meet him, you dummy. After meeting with him, she told me that she wants to remain friends with him and hang out with him sometimes since she enjoys his company in this new city and he's the only person that she has a connection with. I was a bit perplexed again since I thought this was only going to be something for closure, and I hadn't imagined that she would want to be friends with a person that she only had said negative things about. But again, it was her decision and I was fine with it. Ooh, you dumb. She always tells me that she's going to hang out with him. I don't know why, but every time I get anxious. I guess it's the fear of losing her to an old flame of hers with whom she had an intimate emotional and physical relationship. I also don't understand how she can be friends with the person who hurt her in the past. I'm also confused as to why her view of him changed within a short time span. He went from being an asshole to a cool person she enjoys hanging out with. I really need some advice to cope with this. Well, what you do first is, who's your ex? Who's your ex that lives where you are? You say, oh, I hooked up with so-and-so. We went out to dinner. This and that. Make sure you do it, too. So call up your ex and you say, let's get together. I want to know what you up to. And let me take you out to dinner. Let's catch up. And then when you tell her, say, oh, yeah, I met up with such and such. Now let's see what she says, how she handles that. Does she fly into a rage because she's jealous and she feels like you shouldn't be doing that? But she can do it, but not you. Or does she, say, oh, well, I'm glad you did it because I really wanted to break up anyway, so I'm glad and get back with my ex, so I'm glad you did that. So now that's my reason. Or does she get silent and start crying because she realizes how she fucked up and how she doesn't like it when the shoe was on the other foot? Yeah, I would do those things. That's what I would do. But knowing me, okay, after I did that and rubbed it in her face and saw, her reaction, I would break up with her anyway because this is some bullshit. This is some bullshit. I don't understand why you so, amenable to this. No, you ain't hanging out with your ex. And the second you feel like you need to hang out with somebody who fucked over you, that shows that you don't have any sense and you don't need to be with me. I'm not wasting my time with no dumbass broad. You got somebody that was such a fucking asshole and hurt you and all this stuff, and now you want all happy to go skipping around and put yourself back in that position to be hurt again? I don't have time for you. You're stupid. Okay? We're done here, ma'am. And that's what would be that. Yeah, he needs some bass in his voice. You're right, and some hair on his chest and some bigger testicles. Because this is, dude, no, you're not handling this right at all. You supposed to be going smooth the fuck off on her. What the fuck you trying to do? You want that motherfucker? Then go back over there and get him. Don't call me no more. Forget you fucking know me. That's what you supposed to say to her ass. Say, I'm not gonna be having nobody who's supposed to call themselves my woman traipsing around with her ex all over fucking town. Now that's what you want to do. You fine, you can do it. I'm not telling you can't do it. But what I'm telling you is you ain't gonna do that and then be around me. Now that's where I have the right to draw the line. So we're done here, ma'am. Nice life, fuck you, and I hope you die. So, all that. Nah, this wouldn't work for me. This would not work. So that's my advice for you, honey. Grow a pair. Question number 23, female, 26 to 30 from Montreal. A friend of mine is copying my style, and it's making me feel some type of way. Now, I know what you're thinking. What are we, 12? Teenagers? Nope, we aren't. But please hear me out. I'm 27. I've been friends with this girl for a good 10 plus years. We got closer the last few years since we both at similar stages in life. We go to many parties and events together, and she would always ask me for advice on fashion, makeup, and all those girly things. She has expressed to me in the past that she likes my style, and even went so far as a comment on one of my photos, saying everything that you wear, I would literally wear, which I thought at the time was just a nice compliment. But recently, I've been noticing that every time we see each other, whenever I post a picture on IG, she would ask me where I got my full outfit from head to toe. I was fine. I was happy to share all that information as I'm not petty, but it's now getting to the point that every week I post something on it, IG, she would ask me specifically where I get my clothes from. Last month, we both went to a friend's wedding and stayed the night at a venue's hotel. The following day, I went to her room to borrow something from her, and that time I was already dressed for breakfast. Before I left the room, she stopped me and said, "Girl, I'm going to wear the exact same outfit as you." I was wearing a crop top, ribbed trousers, and an overshirt. To be polite, I replied with a laugh and said, "Really?" I then made my way back to my room and changed my overshirt to a blazer so that we didn't look exactly alike. And just to point out, this isn't the only time we've come to an event wearing the exact same thing. After this, I started to feel more uncomfortable about the copying, but the real tipping point was yesterday when I got a text message from her asking, "Girl, what is the name of your YSL bag?" I told her to answer and asked why. She just said, "I'm looking to buy a black top handle designer bag." I was shocked. Then I told her the bag might be discontinued because I've never seen it anywhere, to which she replied with disappointment, a crying face emoji, saying she would just look at other alternatives. I feel everything that I thought was original about myself is now being removed because I have someone else pretty much duplicating things that make me unique. The designer bag definitely hit a chord because choosing a bag is very personal to me. It costs a lot of money. I do a lot of research and curate only items that really represent who I am as a person. Okay, you put too much into a fucking purse. Apart from this, I also recently got a balayage. Is that how you pronounce that? I don't know. Done to my hair as a treat for myself in August. When I went to dinner with her, she asked me if I had dyed my hair because she noticed. I said yes. And then she goes, "I'm also planning to dye my hair in December." I mean, I don't really know how to approach this situation, to be honest. Like, it's an awkward conversation to be had if I were to raise it with her. I don't really want to hurt her feelings. Don't make her feel like I'm this snobbish person who doesn't like sharing. It's not that. I mean, what would you do, Deb? How do you think I should handle this? Do I just ignore, live, and let live? Sure, that might be the easiest thing, but I just don't like this feeling that I'm losing my individuality and uniqueness. Okay, what would I do? I would just say, I'm just like so direct and confrontational. I'll be like, look, you need to find you some shit to do that you find, that's unique to you. Stop fucking copying me. We're not the Bopsy twins. I don't want to go everywhere looking like you. And I'm tired of you buying everything and trying to look like me and copy my style like this is like, what's that show, that movie? Single White Female. It's like that fucking movie. You like the broad in that movie trying to copy everything from the roommate. I hate this shit. You need to quit or we're not going to be friends anymore. That's your two choices. Either find your own way, find your own style, and stop fucking copying me, or I'm not going to be friends with you so you can't copy me. Now, which one do you want? Those are your two choices. Yeah, that Single White Female, that movie was a trip. That's what this sounds like. She's like, and she asked you where you got stuff. Tell her it was a gift. I don't know where it came from. Just lie to her. Why are you telling her all this information? And then, like she asked you what you're going to wear. Say, "Oh, I'm going to wear this, this, and that." So she's going to show up wearing that. You show up wearing something different. I would fuck with her mind. Like you went in there and you changed out to jeans and a crop shirt and you just put on a blazer. I would have changed my whole outfit and wore a skirt or some sandals or something and stuff just so she would be there looking, different. And you would still look cute, but you would have your own look. And then, but you still need to have that conversation with her because this is ridiculous for her to be this old and this like a little copycat, like a high schooler. Question 24, male, 21 to 25 from the UK. I'm a male, 21, and I just moved into a university accommodation with 4 other girls. They're all 20. And this other guy, he's 27. Isn't that kind of old to be at a university accommodation? Me and the other guy's allocation was randomly selected, but the girls all know each other before. As he's the only guy in this flat, I decided that me and him should go out and get a drink to get to know each other. He was asking me who out of the flat I liked the most. I answered, and he asked me, "Well, are you going to make a move on her then?" Now, an unspoken rule for the university is not to sleep with the flatmate, mainly because of the awkwardness that could precede it. I told him that me and this other girl, flatmate, were completely platonic. He then replied to, oh, if I'm talking to a girl, I only intend on having eggplant with them. I can't do friendships. Now that super grossed me out because, oh God, this guy's such a dog. Because it just makes me feel bad for the girls in my flat now. That his only intention of for him to have eggplant with them. Now, if they want to have it with him, I guess I'm not one to intervene because it's their choice. But then I don't want to be living in an uncomfortable environment. What I'm trying to ask you is, do you think I should tell these girls in my flat about what this guy said or keep it to myself for the time being? I'm only withholding it at the moment because I don't want to cause drama amongst us all. But then again, I want to protect these girls who I've become friends with from a potential predator. Asking mainly because I'd want to know what you would want if you were one of the girls in my flat or if one of the girls was your daughter, Deb. Oh, and tell Candace I said many thanks for choosing my letter. Ha ha ha. Okay, so lady, you can tell you guys, you put your vote in here. What should he do? Should he tell the girls? If it was you, would you want to know? If it was your daughter, would you want your daughter to know? I'm going to say, I can't figure out how you would tell them. That's my only concern. But yes, I think they should know. Because, make sure, I don't know, how would I say it if I were you? I would be like, look, me and Dude went out for a drink. And as I understand it, he's not looking to be friends with none of y'all. He just wants to fuck. So make sure that you lock your doors and make sure that you don't do anything with him that could be remotely perceived as romantic interest, which is, the unspoken policy anyway. But I just want to remind y'all that this is what he said and the shit that you could cause for yourself and make it all awkward up in here for everybody. So just, that's your warning. That's what I would say. Something like that. Yeah. Tell them all at the same time. Exactly. Ideally when he's not there. Just gather the girls around and tell them. And, he might not be happy with that they would know his game, but that's too bad. Because, you trying to be a perv and a predator. And, and my concern is, these girls living there and this is how he's thinking about them. He's looking at them as prey. I don't know. And that's like, he's so old. What is he doing there? He's almost 30 years old and he's in a college dorm with 20-year-old kids. No, I'm not feeling this at all. I'm not understanding how this even happened. He should be in some place. He should be in a flat with all guys and that are older students. He shouldn't be in there with some kids like this. Something's wrong. If this was my daughter, I'd be, like throwing a fit and saying I don't want him in there with my kid. He's almost 30 years old. This is a grown-ass man, and these are like kids, 20 years old. These are students, No, he's too old to be in there with them. That's what I would do if it was my daughter. Okay, and our final question of the day, question number 25 for What the Fuck Tuesday of whatever date the date is today, October 12th. Woo, this year has flown by. Okay, female in the 21 to 25 age group. She's from Philadelphia. Dad, why do you think older gentlemen hit on younger women? How much time do you have? No. I've had this happen to me several times where some really old dudes hit me up online. Let me tell you, I am only 25 years old. I don't understand what would attract some 59 to 60-year-old to me. I think it's weird and inappropriate. People always say age is nothing but a number, but do you think there's a number that is too high? Yes. For someone 25, 32 is the cutoff. Anything older than that is too old. These kind of men are almost 3 times your age. I would remind them of that. So, they're hitting you up online. So you don't know them, so you could put the smash on them and just say all kinds of fucked up stuff to them. I would say stuff like, why are you talking to me when I'm young enough to be your granddaughter, you fucking freak? Or, look, Gramps, your dick don't even work. That's nothing I could do with you. Or, I like men who are young, fine, and whose dick stands up at attention. They go like vertical by themselves. That ain't you. Or, I like men who have firm muscles and yours are saggy. You can have moobs and everything. I don't like old men bodies. They're square and saggy. Nope, no interest. Leave me alone. Don't bother me anymore. I'm going to hurt your feelings some more. Things like that. You have to talk about their age, their decrepitness, the medications that they're on, their creaking of their bones and joints, their ED, their pressure, their sugar. All the stuff that's going on with them, their bad backs, all the stuff that goes on with people when they get old. I mean, I wouldn't say nothing to them because, especially after my 2 accidents with my leg, shit, my ass has been tipping around and stuff for a whole year on crutches with a boot and walking, barely could walk and all kind of stuff. So, that shit makes you, that's what I said, this must be what it feels like when you be like 80, 90 years old and can't walk by yourself. Because I got to, feeling it. It's so much for those men. Yeah, they got frog butts and they got that wide thing, where they be wide. Because, like the young dudes have like the V back, right? They have the V. They go tapers down to their little waist and stuff. Then they got their little hips working and their thighs be firm and, their chest muscles, their arms be all rugged and whatnot. They be putting them guns up and you be like, oh my God. But nope, you got these old mushy ass men. And they sitting around there trying to think somebody going to be trying to look at all that flab and that hanging flesh. Motherfucker, your ass is old. Go sit down somewhere and rock in your rocking chair and play with your grandkids. Anybody trying to be looking at you? Girl, I'm telling you, I'm old myself. I don't even want to be bothered with them because they don't keep up with themselves. See, I be working out with my kettlebells and stuff. My shit be tight. And I like it like that. I want to look in the mirror and say, yeah, girl, you still got it. I don't want to be sitting next to some old man with some old saggy shit going on. That's not cute. I don't want it. Especially then, they be having ED and stuff. Do you know me and my friends, me and my girlfriends, we went out, we were sitting around talking about these old men. And so they were like, well, these dudes, they be old and they be trying to, you have to do all this work to make, stuff happen. I'm like, nah, I'm not doing all that. And they're like, but Deb, as you get older, the men, it takes them longer to get ready and this and that. I'm like, I don't give a fuck because I'm not messing with no old man. It's like if I look at your dick and the dick don't do what it's supposed to do, I'm done, I'm out. I just want to look at it. And if it's not doing magical things, then I'm not going to put in any work because by then I'll be tired. By the time you get your shit vertical, I'm exhausted already. I don't want to be bothered. I admit that I'm lazy in that way. But Keith, eat your vegetables and do your exercises. That's it. We don't want to be talking about, I'm not trying to have Nita on here saying, Deb, it's happened to me. But we was laughing our asses off. Well, I never laughed so hard because each one of them had, except for me, I didn't have because I don't do old men. But they all had stories about these old dudes they have been messing with and how shit didn't work and stuff. And I think about my exactly, Melanie. My grandmother said, old men give you worms. I hear my grandmother's voice. These old men be like trying to talk to you. Ooh, and then they smell and they have these weird teeth. And then if it's their real teeth, the teeth are fucked up. And then this one dude, his wife had died. He wanted to get remarried. And so he called himself trying to talk to me. Honey, let me tell you about this dude. He had something wrong with his eyes so that his eyes were always runny and always had some gook running from his eyes. And so he's sitting there and he's looking at you, right, with all this shit, white shit flying from his eyes. And I'm looking at that. I'm like, what is wrong with this man? What is that? And he's sitting up there trying to talk to you. This is a true story. And he's up there trying to talk, and I'm looking at him. And this was years ago, so I was way younger than I am now. And I'm looking at this dude. I'm like, oh, hell to the no. I don't know what that shit is in your eyes. I'm not trying to be bothered with that. Oh my God. It was terrible. And he was not cute. But I heard he had a lot of money and stuff. But I'm like, I don't even care. I don't care. I'm not, I just like a moderate amount of stuff because I live a low-key lifestyle. I don't need no man with a whole bunch of money. That might stress me out anyway. Just, comfortable. I want to do what I want to do. I don't want nobody, bill collectors calling. If I need my car repaired, I need to, have the money to do it. If I need to make a move, I want to be able to write a check to make it happen. Comfortable. But I don't need like millions and all that kind of stuff. But they said dude had millions. And then he had his wife's insurance policy and her Social Security, so her retired plus his. And dude was balling. But I'm looking at that shit dripping from his eyes. I'm like, I don't care what he got. Because that just no. Oh, and his breath. It just smelled like some shit had crawled up his ass and died. And that's the thing about a lot of old people, you know, because they don't eat right. They don't eat a lot of vegetables and fruits and stuff. And so they have like bad, you know, digestive stuff going on, and that breath be humming. So, I mean, all in all, I don't know what kind of old person I'm going to be, because I'm not going to like old people. Even if I am one, I'm not going to like that. And I'm going to make sure that I don't have any of those afflictions. So that's the end of this crazy show. I hope you all enjoyed the laughter. Nita! Tell Nita, what size shoes does Nita want to wear as Keith? Because I want Nita to send me her old Manolos. So I could at least say that I have a pair, because, you know, that's outside my budget. So I have to get some hand-me-downs from Nita. That's what I'm going to do. So I need to reach out. Canadian brother. Anyway, I'm acting crazy today. I got to get out of here because y'all making me feel cuckoo. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to set up something. I'm serious too, Keith, because I just want to have a pair, but, you know, I can't afford it. It's just outside my budgetary reach. But don't think I would not think I was cute. I wouldn't give a fuck. So it's like, I don't care about stuff like that. I would just wear them just while I sit here on the show and just wear them just because that's so I could have them on my feet. But what am I going to say? Oh, yeah, that's right. So you guys have a question. You want to submit a question for this column. This is what you do. You look in the show description down below. There's a link that'll say, you know, get advice or get free advice, something like that. You click that link and then it will take you to the advice submission form. And that's how you submit a question to the show. And sometime next month, we'll be doing a call-in show on here. I'll watch for the announcement. Make sure that you hit the like and the subscribe button so that you get a notice when that show and all the other ones are uploaded or scheduled. A new live is scheduled. But other than that, let me think. What do we got coming up here? Yeah, on the 21st is our next big panel discussion. That's going to be the show about single moms raising sons with Dr. Brenda Wade and two other guys. It'll be, two other male guests in addition to Dr. Wade. So she is a big personality here in the San Francisco Bay Area. I'm just so thrilled that she's going to be joining us for that very important discussion. If you are a mom and you would like some information, you want to ask your question in advance so I can pose it to the panel because you're a little shy, maybe you don't want to put it in the chat, then email it to me, survivingdating@gmail.com. You'll see that in the show description for that broadcast for next week. And if you forget, it's in there too. And just email your question to me, make the subject line single mom show or something like that so that I know that, you know, we know what the question is about. But other than that, you guys, thank you so much for coming and laughing with me today. For all of those who wrote in, please do better about taking care of yourself and establishing firm boundaries and making sure that other people respect you and love you and treat you with consideration that you deserve to have. I'll see you all real soon. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.